Hello, fellow Supernote users. I have been working on templates for my Supernote, and I've shared them in some places, but what I wanted to do was create a video to walk you through how I do it. I'm going to also share a link where you can copy this into your own Figma account and kind of poke around at it however you like. And I'm going to show you just a few tips about how to do this in Figma so that you can either modify the ones that I've made or take this and blow everything away and start over fresh. So you can see here, this particular interface, you've got on the left your pages. We're not really going to mess with any of that stuff. On the right here, you've got some things about how to configure different parts of your Figma file. And if I zoom out here, you can see I have a couple of things. The first three are just a walkthrough of how all these things are set up. The next set is kind of what I would consider the atoms of the things that I have here. So you've got a blank page, you've got a dot grid page, and you've got a page with lines on it. Below that is a quarterly that I've already set up for 2025, just so it's a little bit easier. You don't have to go through all of the work of creating a quarterly spread. And then below that, I have these generic weekly, monthly, daily spreads. And then below that, I have an example of a page that may be a little different from your planning pages. Maybe it's like you like to do 3 questions in the morning, 3 questions in the evening. This is a thing I like to do. And I will walk you through how to work with each of those. So to start with, this is, again, the overview of how all this stuff works. So in the typography section, you can see there's these different styles. If you look over here in the right in the configuration panel, you can see that it says A6, X2, heading 1. I use a Nomad. If you use a Manta, you can use this same styling as well. But you can see in this list, there's an A6, X2 section, and that just has heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. And on the left here, I've put the name of each of these typographical settings. And what this does, if I click this, this is going to detach this particular node from the what's called a style here. So when I do that, you can see it's using work sans. It's black, it's 50, 50. It's got all these settings. If I go over, if I'm on a text node or a text block here, and I click this little 4 button to apply styles, I can then click on heading 1. I'll click heading 2 so you can see how it does it. It set it to a heading 2. I'm going to set it back to heading 1. Now you have the ability to at least know what each of the blocks down here is set up as. And this will make a little more sense as we move down through these sections. On the far right here, this is the color scale. And I created this just because this is the way I liked it. You can use as many or as few colors as you want, but you can see here there's a similar thing for a style for color. So what I'm going to do is go down to my weekly spread, and you can see here, these use, if I click on this, this is using that A6X2 gray 30, and I have changed what I want my styles to be to JetBrains monos instead of using work sans. But the main thing here is this is set up so that it should be really easy for you to decide how you want to move things around. So say, for example, you want to take this block of lines and you want to put it left of the date. You can move it like this, drag it across, and you can kind of configure this however you want. This is set up to kind of flow with the layout. You can do different things, and depending how proficient you are in Figma, you can make it do some really interesting things. But without being proficient, you can do the basic things like move things around. When I originally made this spread, this stuff was all on the left here, and then I had a spacer that would set the offset of this. I'm going to set that to 50 because I think that's right. Set that to 0. So you can see it's really easy as you start to learn how to use Figma to make changes to these to make them fit your style. So for example, let's say you want this to be Pacifico. you can really easily go find the font that you want to use. There's a lot of fonts here. My preference is just to use a monospace font. But what's really cool is you can take these and move them around however you want. I wouldn't personally move these things around, but you may decide that you want to instead have the date at the top, then maybe the month, then maybe the date. Sorry, I meant day here. And you can move this down here, however you want to do it. So it's meant to be really flexible to allow you to move things around how you like. And that is the first part. If you want to take this and you want to create a copy and make a mess, go for it. I recommend it. You can duplicate the page if you're afraid of losing this original copy that you create. You can duplicate the page, work with a duplicate. That way, if you happen to make it really bad, you can always get it back the way you like it. So the next thing I want to show is how you actually get these into your Supernote. So I have made a modification to my daily. As you can see, actually, I don't know that I showed this. I know I didn't show this in the video earlier, but I originally had the numbers over here for the time, and I realized it's very confusing because, like, is the 5 at the beginning or the end? But if it's over here, it makes total sense to me, so I moved it, which means I have a version of my daily that I need to delete, and then a version that I'm going to add. So I'm going to start with deleting, just because I already need to do that. So I'm going to do screen mirroring real quick. Oh, make sure that screen sharing is turned on. Okay, so I have this daily right here. I'm going to just hold it and select it and delete it, hit delete. And now the really important thing that I need to make sure I do is to sync that, and we'll see how long this takes to sync. All right, great. So now I'm going to hit sync on my Supernote Partner app, and that hopefully should show that this gets deleted. Okay, now that it's still syncing, but you can see it deleted my daily, what I'm going to do is go over into Figma again, and I'm going to click on this frame. So there's a separate entity from a rectangle. So here you can see this is a rectangle. This is a frame. A frame has things like it can be created to have auto layout, and that's how all this stuff works, where I was showing earlier that you can move things around. A frame is very specific in that it has a name versus rectangles do not. And I use frames pretty heavily, especially in this particular file. And what you want to do here is click on the daily frame if this is what you want. And you'll see down at the bottom, it says export. And you can do 1x, 2x, whatever you want. I usually do 1x because this is set to be the pixel ratio of the Nomad. So what I'm going to do is click export daily here. And you can see it's shown up as daily 1. So let me go clear that out of my downloads, and then I will show you this again. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. I've clicked on my daily frame, and I'm going to hit export daily here. You'll see it show up here in my downloads, and then if I go over to my downloads here, it's the only file I have. So now I'm going to open my Supernote partner app again. I'll take this and drag it across. Make sure it syncs. Now I'm going to sync my Supernote again. You can see now it's here over on the left. So what I'm going to do, just to demonstrate, is show you then how to use this particular template. Okay, so I am in the note that I keep for the week, and you can see that it's got the old 050607. I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to show the sidebar. I'm going to click on that button. So just to double check that you see it, it's this button here. This is your templates button. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go to customization because I haven't yet favorited this. I'm going to favorite it, and I'm going to choose it. And now you can see it has updated to the correct template that I expect. And what I'm going to do is grab all this stuff and just slide it over slightly. Oop. Delete that one. And voila, now I've got my new template. And again, I'd love for you to make a copy of this. I will add a link to where you can do that. All you need to do is create a Figma account, and then you can go in here and start poking around. It's a little scary at first, but there's lots of great walkthroughs on how to use Figma and how to use it for other types of things. Maybe it would be useful to have a walkthrough of how to use Figma to just do templates for e-ink tablets. If so, let me know. And I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think in general. Thanks.